Hello, preschool friends. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great day. I miss you all so much. I miss all of my friends in my class, but I miss all the kids who I see every day. I sure wish I could give you a big hug today. Well, we've been pretty busy though. We've been taking hikes, we've been playing basketball and baseball out in our yard, but not today. It's a little too wet for that. It's been raining all day. Well, I wanted to say hi and I wanted to tell you thank you for sending me messages and pictures. I love hearing from you guys and I miss you all so much and I wish I could just give you a big hug. But since I can't, I'm going to read you a story. You know Miss B loves to read books. This is one of my favorite books from when I was a kid, when I was little. And it is now one of my boys' favorites. They have had me read it to them a lot lately. This book is called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. The author is Judith Viorst and the illustrator is Ray Cruz. Do you remember what the author does? The author is the one who writes the words and the illustrator is the one who draws the pictures. I knew you'd remember. You guys are so smart. All right, let's find out what's going on in Alexander's world. Well, let's see. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Can you see Alexander? Let's see if I can get this right for you. Look how grumpy he looks. Sometimes I feel like that too. Sometimes we're just grumpy. We're having a bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box. And Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his cereal box. But all I found in my cereal box was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. Can you see? I'm going to try to figure out how to work this camera so you can see the pictures. He's feeling a little grumpy. There they are sitting at the table. His brothers are happy because they both found something in their cereal box, but not Alexander, just cereal. Well, that's good though. At least he has something to eat. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window, too. I said I was being scrunched, and I said I was being smushed. I said, if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm gonna be carsick. But no one even answered. I could tell it was gonna be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Do you see him scrunched in the car? He's sitting in the middle. Now, let me show you this page again, too. Look how grouchy he is sitting back there in the middle. Goodness. I think maybe he needs to pray and ask God to help him feel better. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. What's an invisible castle? Do you think he actually drew anything? I don't know. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. And at counting time, she said I left out 16. Well, who needs 16 anyway? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said Philip Parker was his best friend and Albert Moya was his next best friend and I was only his third best friend. Do you think that hurt his feelings? Probably did. Well, I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone part and lands in Australia. That wasn't very nice, but I think he might have had his feelings hurt. And he's having a bad day, isn't he? There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag. And Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on top. But guess whose mom forgot to put in any sweet treat, any dessert? You guessed it, Alexander. He didn't have a sweet treat. And he felt probably a little jealous because his friends had them. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Okay, let me open the book because this picture goes the whole way so you can see. Can you tell where they are? Let's find out. And that's what it was, all right, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist. And do you know Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me? Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week I'll be in Australia, I said. Australia is another country that's very far away. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for Mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby and... Oh dear, look what's happening here. And while I was, listen to this, while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, should never punch, Mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I think you might need a hug. You ever feel like that? Sometimes you just need a big hug. Oh, now look what they're doing. We're going shoe shopping. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. And Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, oh, we're all sold out of those. And they made me buy plain old white ones. But they can't make me wear them. Oh, he's pouting, isn't he? Look at that face. He is grumpy and pouting. And there's his brothers getting their shoes that they wanted. Can you see what's happening? When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. See all the papers flying around? He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was really as careful as I could be, except for my elbow. And look what happened. All the books went falling down. He also said, don't fool around with my phone. But I think I may have called Australia. My dad said, please don't pick me up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Look at the mom and dad. Look how frustrated they look. Oh, it's just a bad day all the way around. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate limas. And there was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. Blech. You know what? I love lima beans. Have you ever had lima beans before? My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse night light burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony and not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Mom says some days are just like that. See his big brother sleeping? Even in Australia. He finally fell asleep. I always like to think that the next morning he would have a much better day. What about you? What do you do to help you when you're having a bad day? Do you ask somebody for a hug? Do you pray and talk to God and ask him to help your heart feel better? That's what I do. It really does help because God is always listening. Boys and girls, I love you all so much, and I cannot wait to see you. And I hope that you'll send me pictures and messages, and I hope you're drawing and practicing your letters and your numbers. and give everybody in your family a big hug tonight. Bye, boys and girls.